Hey YouTube, what is up? How is everybody doing today? I hope your days are going good and your lives are going even better. For that, we are going to be jumping into the band known as Shadow of Intent with their song from their album Elegy with Blood in the Sands of Time. We're going to break it down lyrically and just see where Ben's vocals take us. And I'm actually wearing my Shadow of Intent t-shirt for once. Like I didn't forget to fucking wear it for once. Look at this shit. It's great, isn't it? But still, I don't know how much of that you heard. You probably didn't hear much of it, but I don't know how good this microphone does at a bit of a fair distance. So without further ado, we are going to jump into the show. Oh damn, we're going fucking religious shit right now. We're going straight fucking religion. This is awesome. This is just such great writing. You can just see it building like blood in the sands of time. The ageless clock is counting down. That's kind of self-explanatory. The purveyors and crusaders bygone live on renowned, as in like the crusaders. The crusades is like a very obvious thing where Christianity basically invaded and killed any non-believers. Some dare aspire to join the ranks of the gods, as in some dare to aspire to join the ranks of gods that aren't their god, and so on and such forth. The certainty of your safety now drains with every hour. Like, if you don't believe in their god, you're about to die. That's literally how the Crusades went. That's why during those times there's a lot of literature and stuff that was burned, and a lot of literature that was fucked up because of it. And unfortunately we lost a lot of technology and everything like that because of the way religion kind of brings us down, if you know what I mean. So, like, the way that religion has fucked up like the face of humanity over several, like over like lots of like hundreds of years type shit, man. But still, it's fucking ridiculous how fucked up religion can be, and people don't realise. But still, let's keep going. I don't mean to interrupt that dude singing. Billy Chupley, that's the word I'm looking for. But still, I'm going to break down this little bit that just happened, and like, Shadow of Intent are dealing with such huge fucking topics now. It's ridiculous to go from their origins as Halo all the way to where we are now. This is pure fucking insanity. Like, just to see how much they've developed as a band, as people, just to see how they're kind of recognised in the world. Only the dead have seen the end of the war. All sons of the many gods, the race of men, begotten end. So yeah, Like, only by dying do you see the end of this, like, war, this never-ending war. And all the sons of the many gods that are out there, from Greek all the way up to Christianity, and beyond that. The race are begotten end, should I say. Empires fall, years have progressed and are forsaken. The meek are cast down, the strongest garnering the gains. That's how it's always been. The rich will always get richer, and the poor will always get fucked over in the process. Sounds of war echo on in solemn spirit. The blind, the sick, the old, the young, even the demons hear it. Like, indeed, like, the sounds will always continuously echo, because even in this world we're living in right now, there are multiple wars going on which we just fucking ignore in the Western countries. And there's nothing we can do, man. What the fuck can we even do to help? Like, we can rebel against our politicians, but then what if that just sends the whole fucking world into war? So it's a very difficult situation and topic to really go into, but that's just literally, like, the current times we live in. And as time passes on, these situations remain a constant in the name of indemnification. Indemnification is kind of like, you know, when you settle on a lawsuit and you kind of pay some money. I'm pretty sure that's what that word meant. It's something like that. Like all these situations, it all remains kind of in the name of just like paying people to do stuff, or it's just something along those lines. The oozing black heart below the surface is calling outwards, and those who dare listen shall be relentlessly pulled under. Worldwide crisis, divinity rehashed. So yeah, exactly. The oozing black heart below the surface of everything else is calling outward, trying to get help. And those who dare listen shall be relentlessly pulled under. There is a worldwide crisis with divinity rehashed. Like, divinity is a whole new thing now. It could mean like things for lots of dumb shit. You could view divinity however you want, as like it's meant to be something that's like divine, you know what I mean? You could view that as a celebrity, as somebody you admire, as anything like that. You could regard all of that as divinity in a sense, not actual divinity, but it depends how you kind of view it, if you know what I mean. But still, the world you see that surrounds you was built from murder. Exactly, it was. Like, everything we have now was built by murder, by like pillaging and plundering and murdering and raping and all of that shit. That's how we built everything we have today, just filled on the backs of people's deaths. The cycle of death continues, and we push it further. We are always mobilised, we are always eager to pulverise, we are corrupt, and we destabilise everything, which is exactly true we do. As a race, not as an individual, as a race. As our politicians, governments and all of that shit do, they just go to all of that shit and they do everything. Autonomy struck up high, the whole are dead to rights. Nothing shall ever suffice. The age is prophesied, the suicide of our kind, like so. The autonomy is also strung up very different high. It's very difficult to be, like, everything is being made autonomous, like all the machines and everything are being made so that the humans are no longer needed. And the whole are dead to rights, nothing shall ever suffice. Like, our age is prophesied to be the greatest age that we've ever lived in, and it's still so fucked up. To begin our suicide, in a sense, to begin the way into machines and in the way to everything else, just that whole thing being crazy, just to see how we treat each other. It's pure insanity.
Rejecting signs as a bad clock unwinds. On a pipeline's bar, spill blood in the sands of time. We walk the earth and still the ground in tremble. Transcending elements, from death we cannot sounds of all let go on.
I'm such a sucker for fucking violins. Violins are one of my favourite instruments in metal. Not really in general, but in metal. In metal especially, it's one of my favourite instruments to, like, see, basically. Like, to hear. It's so beautiful, especially at the end of this song, because it has such an impact on the message. It kind of adds that sorrow into what Ben's talking about. Before we dive into that, we're just going to go through the rest of the song lyrically, and then we'll go on from there, man. Rejecting science as the grand clock unwinds, oil pipelines pour spilled blood in the sands of time. So yeah, the grand clock meaning like time itself. As it unwinds, it begins to unwind as time always does. And the oil pipelines pour spilled blood. So what that means is, most of the wars that we've ever fought in recent years have been a war for oil. So it's not been people, whatever the fuck happened, it's been a war for oil. So when oil reserves start to get low, that's when people get invaded. That's literally how it works. That's how it's always worked. If you think otherwise, then you need to go read up on some shit. And that's literally, so the oil pipelines pour spilled blood in the sands of time, quite literally. That oil is made from the blood of many, many people. We walk the earth, and still the ground, it trembles. We walk the earth, and the earth itself trembles because of the impact we're having on it. Now we are destroying it ever so slowly, but we're speeding up that destruction so it doesn't have enough time to repair itself. We're tearing everything apart, ripping apart trees and everything else, and it's just really fucked up, to be honest. But like, we do because we want to build houses and other shit, but we're not planting things fast enough for them to regrow, which isn't really good for being good to the planet, I guess. I guess we're trying, like, we are trying now, but maybe it's too little too late, who knows. Transcending the elements from death, we cannot hide, indeed we can't. We try to transcend every single element apart from the one constant factor, which is death. And then obviously we've got the breakdown with the suicide of humankind, the kiss of death, claiming lives. To persevere is no option, to reset, rewind. And so the only option we have is to persevere. To everything else we can't rewind what we've already done. And that is a scary thing, considering how insane the planet we've treated it, how crazy we've treated the planet over time. It's ridiculous. But can I just mention Ben's breath control is fucking insane in just terms of how he can hold notes one after another. That is so difficult to do in terms of like growling thing in general. Like, so holding notes, and then there's just Ben's fucking ability. Like, I know he's human, but like his vocals just don't sound human. Just the way he can hold it, the way he can just have every single vocal just go perfect, and it's just like I know when you're recording an album, you can record bits and pieces, but you know, like Ben himself, he did the Heretic Prevails in one take, didn't he? So it's fucking insanity the way his vocals are. He's only improving as time goes on. I can only imagine what it's going to be like in another 10 years' time. It's going to be, I don't even want to think about it at this point. It's going to be out of this world. And yeah, man, suicide of humankind. Eden is falling apart. The earth is falling apart. The sounds of war echo on. The sounds of war echo on. And it doesn't mean war as in just pure fighting with soldiers. It means war against nature. It means war against the planet. It means everything's starting to fuck up. Everything's starting to come apart. Global warming and like the war around the world. And and us like fighting against things like COVID and like other stuff like that, that the war is in all kinds of different ways. It's in so many different aspects of the world that it's just one of those things. So, and we end, of course, with the sheer will of mankind can only go on for so long. Acting as though the last grain has faltered, as in, acts like we don't have enough food to feed the entire planet, whereas we really do. Acts like our food supply has gotten to shit where it hasn't. The world is just a fucked up place where many people die, and some of us are fortunate enough to live in countries where we have no conflict. Well, we do, but it's outside of where we live. It's really fucked up, but that's just the truth of it. That's just the world that we live in. Such a fucked up thing, but that's just how we as human beings are. We're very fucked up creatures. We are the worst animals to ever inhabit this planet. And that's just me being truthful. Besides that, this was fucking awesome. The drumming was insanity in the guitar solo. The guitar solo was sick too, don't get me wrong, but the drumming just kind of added that kind of power and passion into that song, just to build up into ending the song, and it was beautifully done. It was mostly very vocal driven. Like for the song, it was just kind of adding that edge onto Ben's voice so that it could like slam his message into you, basically. But honestly, like the way this band has evolved into what they are now, you wouldn't think of it if you go back and listen to their first couple of albums. If you go back and listen to Primordial, it's just ridiculous how crazily good they are, and how they're trying to do good by trying to give out a good message and trying to show the world for how it is, rather than trying to portray something else about it. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful day, evening, or nights, and I will catch you guys in the very next video. Until then, take it easy.